As parents, we want to give our kids the world, to make sure they have every opportunity, to make sure they have choices. So as Ruth Handler watched her own two children, daughter Barbara and son Ken, playing in the 1950s, she was struck by the differences of the toys they had. Ken's toys were varied and allowed him to imagine being an astronaut, a doctor, or a firefighter. Barbara's toys were a bit more limited. She only had baby dolls. She could only pretend to be a mom. Handler watched as her daughter played out more grown-up roles with her paper dolls as students, cheerleaders, and career women. And Ruth Handler got an idea. What about an adult doll for little girls to play with? An adult doll that allowed girls to dream about the future as they played. The Handlers thought a lot about toys. Handler's husband, Elliot, was the co-founder of Mattel, a toy company. He didn't quite catch his wife's vision, though, but on a trip to Europe in 1956, Handler found a German doll called Build Lily in a little Swiss shop. Originally made as an adult novelty item, Build Lily was, well, a high-end call girl, based off of a character in a comic strip. It was a collector's item. It wasn't intended to be a toy for children. But this doll was exactly what Handler wanted, albeit a little more appropriate for kids. Handler bought 3 of them. She gave one to her daughter Barbara, who loved it, and took the other 2 back to Mattel. With the help of a local designer, Handler reconfigured the doll. On March 9th, 1959, Barbara Millicent Roberts, better known as Barbie, walked into our lives at the American Toy Fair in New York City. She wore a black and white striped bathing suit and sported a ponytail with hoop earrings. She mimicked the glamour of Elizabeth Taylor, but had wholesome Midwestern roots, hailing from the fictitious town of Willows, Wisconsin. The toy buyers thought she'd be a flop. Little girls only played with baby dolls and toddler dolls, but those experts were wrong. No one could have predicted the impact Barbie would have, not only in the toy industry, but in our American culture. 300,000 dolls sold that first year. Today, there have been over 1 billion Barbie dolls sold. Mattel claims that 3 Barbie dolls are sold every second. Fashion designer Barbie debuted in 1960, complete with stylish black-rimmed glasses and a portfolio filled with sketches. Clothes became synonymous with Barbie. Glamorous evening wear, career clothes, and casual outfits. Just as the glamorous Jackie Kennedy became America's first lady, Barbie's wardrobe expanded too, and it continually changed with the times and trends. It's estimated that Barbie has had 1 billion outfits made for her since her debut in 1959. Now that is a large closet. The doll's body has always been a source for controversy. Some say her figure is unrealistic, and some didn't want their kids playing with a full-figured little lady. Mattel, early on, advertised Barbie directly to its target audience, on TV, during commercials of Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse Club. They were, in fact, the first company to broadcast commercials to children. Mattel released Ken, named after Handler's son, in 1961. Other dolls joined her circle. Her best friend Midge entered the scene in 1963, and her little sister, Skipper, was added in 1964. Barbie allowed girls to dream about their futures, and she's broken the glass ceiling quite a few times. For example, in 1962, women in the US were unable to open their own bank accounts, so Barbie was quite cutting edge when she purchased her first dream house. It had mid-century decor, a hi-fi stereo, and stylish furniture. It showcased independence, and it allowed girls to imagine their own homes someday. In 1965, Astronaut Barbie launched into the market, taking advantage of the excitement for the space program. She had a cool spacesuit and a white helmet and helped to show girls that anything was possible, even shooting for the stars. Remember, Neil Armstrong didn't land on the moon until 1969. That's 4 years after Barbie suited up. Astronaut Barbie would be the first in many career Barbies in the years to come, more than 200 even. Barbie's been a doctor, a CEO, an engineer, and a teacher. She's run for president, been a scientist, been a pilot, an Olympic athlete, and an artist. She's owned a business, and she's even been a keeper of bees. Barbie's appearance has changed over the years too. Her eyes were changed to front-facing instead of the sideways glance of the original doll. Her body has become more flexible. Barbie's accessories, just about anything you can imagine, cars, campers, boats, horses, home furnishings, they all continue to be popular. Barbie's branched into book series, TV shows, movies, video games, and even art. Andy Warhol painted her portrait in 1986. Barbie has grown with the times, reflecting the world around her. You can find Barbie with different body types and different ethnicities. Barbie's friend Christy, released in 1968, was one of the first black dolls. In 1980, Mattel debuted the first black and Hispanic dolls named Barbie. There are celebrity Barbies. Twiggy was the first one in 1967, and there are lots of ones that honor historical women. It's hard to dream and imagine if we aren't exposed to the what could be's. Barbie was the brainchild of Ruth Handler, who created the Barbie doll to provide her own daughter with more of those what could be's. On top of that, though, she also provided decades of dreams for little girls playing with their Barbie dolls, imagining all of the ways that life could be like when they grew up. Thanks for watching Memory Mountain. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story looking back over the landscape of Americana.